Hey y'all, it's your Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Divorce Sistas Season 1, Episode 1. The episode starts off with Geneva and Tiffany in the car getting ready to pick up Geneva's daughter from school. And we find out that Geneva has had her daughter through IVF because she was having a hard fertility journey. As they're sitting in the car, they have a whole conversation about everybody else in their friend group. Tiffany needs to start dating again and stop burying herself into work. Tiffany thinks that Geneva has a perfect marriage with her husband William, and Geneva's like, nobody's perfect. She's like, not even Rashida. And then they start talking about their friend Naomi, who's had a tumultuous divorce and is really batshit crazy. So after they finish having a conversation about them and their friends' personal lives, Geneva's daughter comes out from school and her teacher walks her out, and the teacher's like, it's funny seeing you here. We always see the dad, but we never see you. Well, Geneva's like, well, I have a very busy schedule because of the demands of my job. The teacher was like, well, it's nice to have both pairs engaged. Over at the church, Pastor Jefferson and his wife Rashida are preparing stuff for the church banquet that's about to happen, and they're going over everything. And Rashida's trying to make suggestions, but Pastor Jefferson is undermining her. Basically, like, it's my way or no way, and you just gonna sit there and be quiet and do everything that I say. This is when we find out that her friend Bridget is not only her friend, but she also works for her. Bridget's trying to sit there and defuse the situation because she could see the tension that's rising up between the pastor and his wife. Mind you, this tension is because Rashida said don't invite Franklin. Franklin is Naomi's ex-husband who she has had the tumultuous divorce with, and that's Rashida's best friend. She doesn't want any problems to happen at the banquet, especially if Franklin invites his new girlfriend. Pastor Jefferson is like, why can't we invite him? He's like one of the biggest investors. Pastor Jefferson is one of them pastors who care more about the building than his actual people inside the building, because all he kept talking about is the building fund. After Pastor Jefferson walks out after saying he can't be late to the city council meeting, his wife Rashida follows after. She's like, Jeff, can I talk to you for a minute? He's like, yeah, but I'm not trying to be late to the city council meeting. Rashida's basically like, I don't like how you tried to undermine me in front of our staff. Pastor Jefferson was like, that's not my intent at all. I really can't talk about this right now. I'll talk to you about it at home, but I'm really not trying to be late to this city council meeting. I can already tell you that I'm not going to like Pastor Jefferson at all. First of all, Devon Franklin is playing this role a little too well for him just to be debuting and acting. I think there are some parts of this character that truly resonate with him, but to see that he cares more about his image and his outside appearances more than his own wife's feelings is disgusting. Then we see Tiffany and Geneva go over to Naomi's house because Naomi is trying to work with Geneva on this lawsuit that she has against her ex-husband for some money. Geneva's like, I looked over all the contracts and stuff and I did all that I can do, but you should just leave this alone because you already had him. Naomi's not trying to hear all of that because she's trying to pay back her ex-husband for all the pain and suffering that he put her through. So she's trying to make his life a living hell. Naomi's like, if you won't help me, I'll find a different lawyer. And Geneva's like, I didn't say I wouldn't help you, but you really need to let this go. Geneva finally makes it home and she brings Tiffany with her, and Tiffany gets a call from their friend Bridget. And Bridget's basically telling them that the pastor's thinking about inviting Franklin. The girls are like, no, because they already know how this is going to turn out. Tiffany's going to act a plum fool. Not only did her ex-husband move on, but he moved on with a white woman. So Tiffany, Geneva, and Bridget are trying to come up with a plan to keep Naomi and Franklin separated if Franklin does end up coming to the banquet. They're basically like, well, we just got to make sure that she's not drunk when she comes. Bridget's like, hey, I got to tell y'all something. I think there's something going on with Rashida and Pastor Jefferson and everything's not okay. The girl's like, what do you mean? But just like, I was just in a meeting with them and there was a lot of tension. But Geneva and Tiffany are like, just let us talk to her. So Bridget knocks on the door and Rashida's in her office crying because her feelings are hurt because of what Pastor Jefferson. Bridget's like, hey, the girls are on the phone and they want to talk to you. Rashida's like, I can't talk about this right now. Bridget's like, well, we got to face this. Rashida's like, I can't do this. I got to worry about the banquet and other stuff. So Tiffany and Geneva get on the phone. They start talking about Franklin being invited to the banquet, how Rashida needs to talk to Naomi because Naomi's a pastor and she's good with her words and she'll be able to get through to Naomi. And Rashida's like, did you read over the contracts? Geneva's like, yeah, but there's one clause in there that I don't like. Rashida's like, well, I can come over to your house and we can talk about it later. Geneva's like, okay. Tiffany's like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. So they get off the phone. So when they get off the phone, the little girl, Anika, Geneva's little girl, is playing with her dolls. Anika is playing with two dolls, a girl and a male doll. And Anika says, you so damn fine, because she's playing from the male perspective. Eva reprimanded her and she's like, where'd you learn that from? That's not appropriate to say for a 5-year-old. Anika's like, well, Daddy says it to the pretty lady at school. Geneva goes into this questioning of what's the pretty lady's name? Does she work at your school? Is she one of the parents to one of your friends? Until Anika opens her mouth and says, well, she is there to pick up my friend Maddie. And Tiffany can see Geneva's wheels turning, and she's like, Geneva, she's only 5. Kids have a wild imagination. You know, William, he wouldn't do this. Geneva's like, well, didn't you say the same thing about John? Tiffany's like, yeah, but I knew that he had a cheating bone in his body. William doesn't seem like it. So as Tiffany is about to get up and leave, Geneva's like, don't tell anybody. Tiffany's like, I won't. Once Tiffany leaves, Geneva goes up to Anika's school to talk to her teacher, and Geneva's like, I want to set up a play date for Maddie and Anika, but I need Maddie's parents' numbers so I could talk to them. Miss Rose is like, I can't give out her number. Geneva's like, well, can you at least give me her last name? Miss Rose is like, I can't do that, but there is a parent-teacher conference tomorrow at 7, and you could come to that and speak to her then. Geneva's like, okay, sure, I'll be. Over at Naomi's, we see that she has hired this guy to get down to business with her, and he's really trying to get to know her and see where her head's at and to pick her brain a little bit. And Naomi ain't trying to hear that. All she wants is to get down to business and have this man leave. That's what they do, and the guy is trying to sit and stay and talk to her for a minute. Naomi ain't having that. She really wants him to leave. She's checking the computer because she's talking to her ex-husband. Guy is basically like, I can help you out with that. I'm good with computers. Naomi's like, what can you do for me? Because he sees that she's blocked. So he helps her get unblocked. She's like, thank you, but I still need you to leave. The guy's not trying to hear that, so eventually she pulls out her blicky on him. He's still not scared of it. She's still like, you ain't moving fast enough. He's like, I'm leaving. He leaves. She's still checking her computer, and she gets even more upset because she doesn't like what she sees. Geneva's like, I'm gonna find out Maddie's mom's name one way or the other. So she plays this story about how Anika lost her teddy bear, so she goes up to the school. She tells this story to the janitor. The janitor's like, I normally don't do this. Geneva's like, if she doesn't have it, she'll cry all night. The janitor's like, I know that feeling. Where am I that she lost it? Geneva's like, she lost it in her classroom. Then Geneva's trying to make small talk with the janitor to throw him off, and then Geneva shows him a picture of Anika, and he's like, yeah, she's a very sweet girl. Geneva's like, this must be Maddie. Mind you, the kids' pictures are hanging up on the board. And he's like, yeah, that's Maddie. She's a very sweet girl, too. Geneva's like, well, I want to set up a play date for them. How's her parents? Because you know you can't trust these parents these days. The janitor's like, well, the Houstons are very nice. Geneva's like, the Houstons? The janitor's like, yeah. One of them is a salesman, and the other one, the mom wears yoga pants to school every day, talking about she's late for class. Geneva's like, so do you think she owns a yoga studio? The janitor's like, I really don't know. Geneva's like, well, you know what? I don't think the teddy bear is here. I think it's actually in my other car. The janitor's like, okay, I hope you find it. He's like, oh yeah, the name of the place is a Goyer, and I think it is a yoga studio because she said it's yoga spelled backwards. And that's what she wears on the back of her pants every day. Geneva finally got the information that she wanted. I just hope she uses it wisely and doesn't come up short and find out that it was all false. Then we see Tiffany and Bridget at the nail salon, and they're getting pedicures, and they're talking about the girls and all their... Bridget starts talking about Rashida and how everything's going on with Pastor Jefferson. And Tiffany starts talking about Bridget's man and how he ain't got no job and how they're not married yet. And Bridget's like, it's a process. You know, it takes time with him. Tiffany is tricked by Bridget into telling her that everything that's going on with Geneva and William. And Tiffany's like, don't tell Geneva anything because she'll know that I told you. Over at the church, Rashida's having a counseling session with one of her congregation members. And the girl is all distraught and all sad. Like, I don't know what to do. I shouldn't be doing this. This is going on for too long. I feel like I've sinned too much. I don't know if God will forgive me. I don't know if you will forgive me. Rashida's like, forgive you for what? Have you done something against me? The girl is like, yes, I've been having an affair with your husband, and it's been going on for 3 months. Mind you, the girl is only 19. I liked this first episode. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye!